Welcome everybody to a 20-minute HIIT workout under your travel series. All you're gonna need when you're away is a lacrosse ball as well as a small resistance band, mini bands, and a door anchor. You barely need anything. Today, just these two pieces of equipment. I wanna get right into it because we're counting down from our 20 minutes. So I want us to get on the floor and do some soft tissue work with our lacrosse ball to start today. We're gonna be focusing today on doing our posterior, so mostly our hamstrings and glutes, as well as a couple of pressing movement patterns or things that are going to work our shoulders, as well as our chest. Because we don't have much equipment, we're going to have to strategize today. Being effective with little things means we're going to have to slow down the time under tension of these reps, right? That's going to just increase the difficulty. We're going to have to make sure we go through a long range of motion. And again, we're going to have to keep the intensity up. But no matter where you are in the world, if you're away on business, you're away traveling with the family, this 20-minute workout, you can carry the things with you. Even if you had to spend 15 minutes trying to find the gym in the building of wherever you're staying, we can now save that friction because you have everything with you and it fits in a little duffel to-go bag, something that's like a toiletry bag. All of this stuff would fit in. It takes up no space at all. Again, that's the goal with these workouts, is to eliminate as much friction as humanly possible. Deep breaths. Again, I just try to take breaths, abduct my leg. I'm trying to look for tissue that's sensitive in my glute. Once you find a spot, you can just take deep breaths there and relax. Get to learn about your body. One side maybe is more sensitive than the other, so that tissue may be firing more frequently. Again, I'm going for about 45 seconds per side here. I don't have a strict timer going, so that was good there. Next, the tissue of our shoulders get really, really tight. So I'm gonna lay face down, gotta tie my shoe. I'm gonna lay face down, take one hand, put it behind my back. From here, I place all of my weight onto this side of my body, and I chicken wing my elbow up and down. We're gonna take deep breaths. We're gonna work on this for about 30 seconds per side. Again, I want us to get right to the workout. This already is coming into our 20 minutes. Again, search for that painful tissue. If it's really bad, just take deep breaths. We sit a lot, kyphotic, bad posture throughout the day, so the tissue of our pecs and shoulders gets super tight, pulling us forward, weakening the musculature of our back. So all we're trying to do, again, promote some blood flow, improve the fluid dynamics so that tissue can be hydrated better, so then it can stretch out and lengthen. And again, stop pulling us into bad positions all day, increasing our risk of injury and just lowering our effectiveness of working our back out if we're trying to ever do pulling exercises. Okay, almost done here. Good, keep taking deep breaths. The next thing that we're gonna do some lunged rotations. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get into a push-up position. Now, I recommend most people probably doing this video wanna do this from your knees. We bring one foot outside of our hand, reach all the way up, touch my forearm to the ground, and then I switch sides. If this back leg is straight, I get to stretch out that hip flexor. 10 per side, guys. Keep going, I'm tying my shoe. We're gonna be able to stretch out that back hip flexor, the front leg that comes up. We're gonna be able to stretch out our glute and our hamstring and our adductors. Again, this is just a huge range of motion you can take yourself through. If this is easy and you wanna try the progression, the more challenging variation, all you're gonna do, lock your legs out. Same concept. Again, we're trying to do this rather quick so we can get to the workout. We can get some blood flow going throughout our whole body. Pay attention. Does one side feel tighter than the other? Learn about your body. Can you not get one foot as far up towards your hands? This is going to show you what we have to work on as far as mobility outside of these workouts. Almost there. Get to go through a lot of thoracic rotation with these. Make sure your foot stays flat on the floor. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Last one per side. Oh, okay, good. Next, we're gonna take a band and we are gonna do a little bit of overhead work, just trying to warm our shoulders up. I'm gonna pull this band apart as much as I can. My elbows are locked out and I'm just gonna do shoulder flossing. I bring it all the way around back behind me, deep breath out, all the way in front. Again, just loosening up the tissue of our pec and shoulder. We're gonna do 15 of these. If it's painful or the band is too thick, again, make sure your hands are as wide as you can. Deep breaths. last thing, and then we're gonna get started. Excited? We're gonna do 4 movements today, 4 exercises, and we're gonna continuously perform that circuit over and over until we reach our 20-minute timer. And good. All right. So the movement patterns for today. We're gonna be doing a sumo deadlift with this band. So we're gonna work our hips and we're gonna go through a long range of motion. We're gonna do a banded overhead press, working our shoulders. We're gonna do a single-legged glute bridge, working our hips, and a bird dog to work core and stability of our spine. So let's get started. So the first thing I mentioned is a sumo deadlift. For this, I want you to lay your resistance band on the ground. I want you to step on one end with one foot, and then I want you to pull the band tighter, and then step on the other side with the other foot. Now, I want your feet turned out to about 10 and 2 o'clock. Now, I just created a little bit of tension in the bands. Now when I reach down, I have a little more tension than I normally would have. The concept here, I want us to open up our hips as much as we can, keep a vertical torso. We go down to the ground, stand tall, squeeze our butt and belly. Make sure your feet are turned out to 10 and 2 o'clock. Again, I open my hips, stand tall. We're gonna do 12 repetitions here. On the way down, we're gonna go down at a 3-second pace. 1, 2, 3. I stand, squeeze my butt and belly. 1, 2, 3. My shoulder blades are back, my belly's tight. 2, 3, 3. Again, we're trying to increase the time under tension to make this more challenging on us. 2, 3, 5. Good, let me show you some from the side. Keep going. Again, we want a very vertical torso angle as we're doing this. Feet are turned out to the side. Keep going, keep going. I'm gonna catch up with you. I don't wanna hit myself in the Johnson with this thing coming up. That would be a bad day. Okay, I got my feet turned out. I open up my hips, stand tall, 12 total. I'm gonna do one more, since you guys are probably ahead of me. Good. Okay, next, we're gonna take this band. You can do this standing. I'm gonna do it half kneeling for the camera. I pull the band apart. As I'm pulling it apart, press my arms overhead, all the way down. At a somewhat slow pace, we're not rushing this. 12 reps here. Our heart rate should be up from us moving from everything. And again, think of hands pulled apart wider than elbows. I don't want this, I want this. Really working on external rotation of our shoulders. 7, almost there, going to 12. 9, 3 more. Last 2, keep pulling, keep pulling. Shoulders should be burning. And the beauty is, your shoulders are burning because the little muscles are working. It's not necessarily the big muscles that get tight on most people. Okay, next up, we're laying face up. We're gonna do single leg glute bridges. 1 foot on the floor, 1 leg up in the air. I drive through my heel, squeeze the butt cheek of the foot that's on the floor, all the way back down. 12 reps per side. Split second hold at the top. Again, we're just gonna continuously move until the 20 minutes are up. High, squeeze. 8, 4 more. You should really feel this in the back side of your leg. If you feel it in your lower back, it's because you're over-exaggerating trying to get your hips up and you're just going into lumbar extension or arching your back. So again, make sure you keep your belly tight and you're keeping a level pelvis and you're just pushing up through your heel and then squeezing your butt at the top. Don't try to overdo it. It's not gonna work your glutes more. Deep breaths. 8, strong. Last 2. 11 and 12, beautiful. Okay, next let's flip into a tabletop position. Okay, from here, a bird dog. I wanna extend opposite limbs and reach out while maintaining a neutral spine. I don't wanna go into extension and arch my back. When I come together and I touch in the middle, I don't wanna round. I wanna try to maintain a neutral spine throughout. We're doing 12. Deep breaths through your nose. When you lock your leg out, squeeze the glute of the leg that goes back. Try to get that arm next to that ear. And brace your belly the whole time. Like you're pushing out against your stomach, like someone's gonna punch you and you're bracing. Okay, switch sides. One of our core's important jobs is maintaining spinal stability. We don't want our spine
rotating when it's not supposed to, or side bending, or just shifting around. So this is an example of us trying to brace our core so our spine stays straight while we go through some lower extremity movement of our leg and hip. And beautiful. Okay, back to sumo. Give myself a little more tension, step on this guy, make sure my foot's turned out, pull that apart nice and wide, grab, oh baby, I got some tension here, okay. Open up the hips, 1, 2, 3, stand tall, squeeze my butt. 1, 2, 3. This will also help make sure that you keep your feet flat and you have even tension, because if you don't, the band's gonna fly up. 1, 2, 3, 4, good. Make sure those knees are not collapsing in, you're pushing them out. Shoulder blades are backing down as well. Ooh. Open, slow, up, 8. And if you don't have a band like this, or you're struggling, just do this without the band. Last ones, 11. Open, 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 get low, 12. Okay, next, overhead press. Pull it apart. Slow, pull, pull, pull. If you're someone who's struggling to get your arms all the way overhead like this and you look like this, we're gonna have to work on your shoulder mobility. So you're gonna have to watch the shoulder flexion video, learn why that is and how we can fix it. Slow, pulling it apart. Same thing if you're someone who has to arch their back to get their hands overhead every time, you don't have the shoulder mobility to get in this position. So you're compensating and putting your lower back at risk of injury. So again, we got to work on your shoulder mobility. 11, last one. Woo, all right. Single leg glute bridge. This is programmed nicely because our heart rate goes up rather high from the sumo deadlift. And then we progressively get exercises that let our heart rate come down, which is the goal, right? I want you guys to do as much volume of things in 20 minutes as you can. A lot of people sit on their phones most of the time they're in a gym. I don't even know if they do 20 minutes of constant movement. So you guys are being really, really efficient within the 20 minutes that you're spending doing this. And to me, that's much more important than you doing an hour, but putzing around for most of the time. Again, I talk about this a lot. We want the lowest input for the maximal output. Right? So by lowest input, I mean time. I definitely don't mean effort or the type of things that we're doing. We don't want to just waste our time with, small isolating exercises. There's a time and place. And sometimes in these workouts you might get one, but that's generally to let the other muscle groups rest while we're being, taking active recovery, you could call it. 12. Okay. Flip on over, same thing here. How much time we got left? A little under 7 minutes. Maintain that neutral spine, resist, resist, arching that back. Deep breaths. Good. Switch. Deep breaths. Staying calm. Heart rate gets to come down here. Really squeeze that back glute. Again, resist the urge of arching. Look over in a mirror, lateral to yourself. If you have one set up, check your form. And 12. Okay. A couple more rounds here. Give you another view. Again, me over here. Nice wide stance on this band. Ooh-wee, watch out, band. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, it's amazing how much we can do with very little equipment. Whoop. If we prepare. And if we just use a little creativity. Not every workout has to be, us progressing and doing the most challenging exercise variety. Some days we just gotta move. We're under the weather, we're traveling. Circumstances aren't leading to our normal routine. Great example of when we can perform this. 2 more. 11, last one, and 12, good. And if you do this in the morning before a cup of coffee, who knows? You might have the energy that you won't need one, or at least you can delay it. Pull apart, 12, nice and slow. Now, the closer together your hands are while pulling apart, the harder you're gonna make this. And again, this is perfect because we get to work our external rotators. We're not making any tissue tight if we have trouble going through this range of motion. And we still get to work our shoulders and keep our heart rate up and go through an important range of motion, which is shoulder flexion. We don't want to lose this ability as we get older. Whew. Think you're going to put your bag in the overhead bin. You need that mobility to do that safely. Okay, 12 reps. Hips high, keep squeezing that glute. 4. If these get really hard and you're struggling, do both feet at the same time. Double the reps. Again, I want you to continuously move through this 20 minutes constantly. I don't want something to be so hard that you're stuck on it for 5 minutes before you finish the reps. If you do, guess what? Tell me, and I'll give you a different exercise that scales up to one day being able to do these. Again, we just need to strategize. I want to cater to you guys. I'm not just making general workouts. If someone struggles or they need new content, I'm going to make that new content for you all. So just work with me and teach me what you need. 11, last one. 12, okay. Let's flip on over. Bird dogs, and then we got about 3 minutes left. We can get one more full round in, I think. Try to keep those hips level. Try not to rotate too much as you're doing this. A little anti-rotation work involved here too. Almost there. 2 more. And 12. Beautiful. Okay. Deep breaths. Again, this is our nice relaxing movement, letting our heart rate come down before we get to some of the other ones. 10, 2 more. And 12. Woo. Core's burning. I mean, that's not necessarily an exercise we consider to be a challenging core exercise, but if you're doing it right, man, oh man, do you feel it. Turn those toes out. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 2 minute mark. Almost done. Hopefully by the end of this too, you opened up some of the tissue in your hips from trying to go through this range of motion. This range of motion is tough. This style of deadlift, it seems more like a squat, but it's not. As long as you're keeping your hips open and your feet aren't straight, and you're really trying to externally rotate those feet into the ground, you have to really access a deep range of motion in your hips. You keep a much more vertical torso angle than you would a normal deadlift when you're hip hinging, right? And this is going to take some tension off your lower back when you lift things and also help you use your glutes more. But you have to have adequate hip mobility to be able to perform this because it's so challenging. Your adductors, the inside of your leg, need to adequately lengthen out to get into that position. How much time we got? Almost 1 minute left. Keep the same pace though. Don't rush these just to get them done with. Strong, come on. Almost there, 2 more. Whoops. 11, you want to work on balance? Try picking your back foot up. There's so many things we can do to add minute differences and make things more challenging. A little more than 30 seconds left. See if we can finish out this circuit. So I believe I'm on finishing my 4th round. So at the end of this, I want you guys to write down how much you did. And if you perform this travel workout again one day, that's your goal. Try to get through an extra couple of reps on the same round or an extra round or make it to the next exercise, whatever. Maybe you go through a longer range of motion. Maybe it's a thicker band, whatever it is. Every time you do this, I want you to try to repeat what you did and do better. So take some progress. Almost there. Finish this out. Time's gonna run out. And beautiful. All right, everyone. There's your 20 minutes right there. Thank you so much for working hard with me again. If you're traveling and you knocked this out, congrats. You should feel great about yourself. Keep going about your day. Celebrate your vacation. Get your work done if you're on a business trip, whatever it is. I'm just glad you thought of taking care of your body when time is short and you're away right now and you're out of your normal element. So congrats. Remember, hydrate, especially if you're traveling and flying. Make sure you drink adequate water. Eat the right nutrition. You burned 150, 200 calories today. You should feel great about that. But you can eat that in 2 or 3 minutes. So again, make sure you're being smart with your calories in, because your calories out, it takes a lot of effort and time. So again, thank you so much for being here, guys. I love you. I can't wait to see your progress in the future. Keep up the hard work. I'll see you soon.